that I can send along. All right, for the SDOT update, a fun update to begin with. We have our Safe Routes to School packages. Woohoo! 30 schools so far have requested packages. So that means at least 30 schools are doing something, some sort of event for Bike Everywhere Month or Bike to School Month next month, which is May. So that's really exciting. We have lots of requests that we're fulfilling. And then in terms of project updates, there are a few fun things. At James Baldwin, this is up north, formerly Northgate Elementary. That always stop that the principal had requested and the community had requested years ago along First Avenue and North 120th, which had a really high ADT or too high for our threshold, was approved. So that's great. We're going to have an always stop. So that's kind of a big deal. Yay. Only something we'd be excited about. And then we have a few more updates. Sarah, you want to mention what's happening at Adams Elementary? We've got some,
yes.
Or I can say, it doesn't matter, up to you.
And Noah, you have your firsthand experience with this, so please chime in. But Adams Elementary parents, including Noah, were advocating for better crossings across Northwest 65th, which is an arterial crossing that students need to cross to get to Adams. And this was back when Ashley was the program manager, and she developed a project to put in speed cushions and paint and post curb bulbs on 65th, right where students are crossing. And so they just went in. At least the speed cushions are in, and the curb bulbs should be coming soon. Noah, anything you want to add?
Yes. Almost everybody is very, very excited. Everybody in the school community is very, very excited for sure. And most neighbors I talked about are also very excited. Definitely slowed people down, though I did hear few cars as I was walking by scraping their bottoms, and hopefully they would drive slower next time. Yeah, so thank you for that. It's been
good. Yeah, I've gotten a few emails from people not connected to the school that are grumbling about having speed cushions on an arterial, and it's helpful that we can share, like, this is about kids crossing the street to get to school safely. We've collected speed data out there, and people are driving about 5-6 miles over the speed limit even during school arrival and departure times. So we have good backing for this, and it helps that this was a partnership with the school community. So thank you.
So actually I had a question. I was answering some questions on Facebook about this project from some neighbors that were not super thrilled. And somebody asked, how could they be in the loop in the future when projects like that are coming in the pipeline? I assume there is no like a listserv for every street before you do work, but is there a way for somebody to know in advance if they're going to have a speed hump build on their arterial?
Right. A project like this, I've been trying to put on, at least on our Safe Routes to School webpage, but I know that's very passive. Like you would have to pretty much know about it to find it on the webpage. For this one, for the adjacent neighbors, we passed out these construction notices so that people knew, but I could see if you weren't an adjacent neighbor or connected, directly to it within the school, then you wouldn't know. So my best answer is we do have a online system called Dot Maps that's publicly available, where not just SDOT projects, but any projects that are affecting the right of way should go into Dot Maps. And I was about to send you that, Noah, but I saw that this Northwest 65th project was not in there. And so I'm asking the person who is our main Dot Maps contact, why, like how come some things show up on the internal site, but not the external site? So I was waiting to get that answer first before sending it to you.
Okay, thank you.
And then we also got in speed cushions on 105th, leading up to Viewlands Elementary. So that's another one where we saw speeding, and so the speed cushion should be a big help. And then my other update is that my position here at SDOT is a temporary position, and my last day of the temp position is May 7th. So I won't be at the next committee meeting because of the hiring freeze going on right now. So we hope that this it's going through the mayor's office approval process, and hopefully it gets approved as a full-time position. But I just didn't want to, disappear on you all at the next meeting with no explanation. Go ahead, Mariellen.
Hey, yeah, I just want to say, it's so great to see these improvements going in around schools. And the one at James Baldwin, where the initial response was, that doesn't fit our criteria. And it's so nice to see SDOT realize, seeing where there's a gap in the criteria and fixing it. That's amazing and wonderful work to you. Thank you for, continuing on it, even as we committee members were pretty grumpy about it. I really appreciate it. I'm wondering, going forward, does this mean that, there's like a permanent change in how similar other locations would be looked at? Is it a case by case? What does that mean for other projects that are slightly outside of the rules as that one at James Baldwin when was?
I think it's a really great precedent. It is right next to the main entrance of the new elementary school. And then there's corridor consistency because there was an all-way stop just south and then 2 intersections north. So I think given that they were considering this one at all, even though the ADT was above the threshold, is a really great precedent for us to have moving forward for similar kinds of contexts in the future in your elementary schools. Sarah, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, but we're very excited. Yeah, changes ahead. Hopefully some more always stops.
Yeah.
That is really good news, particularly for those school. We've had a number of examples where basically right in front of the school, we can't get a stop sign, and it's a little difficult for anyone, outside of the engineering world to understand. This is super great. I'm excited about all of these announcements, except for the fact that Sarah may disappear for a while. I don't know if we can help with that at all. We could write a letter saying we really appreciate having this role, and we definitely want it to continue if that's useful. Yeah.
Thank you. TBD, hopefully, hopefully we won't need to do that. We'll see.
Fred is also leaving, so I don't know is Fred still on the call? Our intern.
That's true. Fred got a full-time job.
Yeah, which is great. So
yeah, I'm on the call.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you want to say what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna be going to Stefferson and Associates, public engagement firm that works with SDOT and a bunch of other agencies across the county and the region. So I'll be here until sometime around May 1st to May 3rd. My official last day where I turn in all my equipment is May 3rd. But yeah, I got a full-time job.
Yeah,
Congrats.
Thank you.
So congrats to Fred, and we will hopefully have another intern sometime this summer. Other updates. So we have Marilyn stepping down. Thank you so much for your time on the committee. So we're going to have an open recruitment process. So you'll hear from me a little bit more, but we'll be sort of publicizing the opening soon through an open recruitment process. And then the other 2 things that maybe warrant a little bit more conversation. So maybe this shouldn't be part of the update, but Margaret had mentioned the possibility of a WashDOT member. And then also, we were considering, actually suggested having a student member of the committee, possibly join as well. There's a little trickiness there just in terms of class time, but something that we could talk about. So something to be tabled for discussion at a later
Actually,
time.
something to table to the last 10 minutes of the meeting, because we have it on the agenda.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
So,
And I think that's about it for the SDOT updates. Thanks.
I can go ahead with SPS updates. So like Diane said, we've had a lot of engagement with folks ordering packages, which is really exciting. We have 17 schools officially registered on the National Bike and Walk to School Day website. Another 13 schools who ordered packages but are not registered. And then another about six or seven schools who I am tracking that are planning to participate but have not registered or ordered packages. So a lot of engagement this year, and that's not even capturing all of it. I think, yeah, a big part of Sarah and I's work in the last couple of years is just like capturing what's going on and then working on engaging with folks who haven't been participating. But I just learned yesterday, as a fun example, that Tops School, they're not registered and they didn't order a package, but they're registered on the Cascade site, and they're going to host a Bike Everywhere station on Bike Everywhere Day, and they're having students help pass stuff out to community members who are biking and walking to work, and then they're going to do some sort of like car and pedestrian count with their science class students to practice data. Yeah, so some really fun ideas and things that folks are doing across the district. And I'm working with the staff cyclists a little bit to engage with some of those schools. Yeah, I'm on a staff cycling group. So we'll hopefully have some sort of data about staff who are biking to work. We've done different bike to work efforts in Bike Month in previous years about like a competition of people tracking their mileage. But I think we're going to shift gears a little bit and try to track, track participation, which, you know, is not the most like sound data collection because people would just opt in based on whether they're cycling or not, but it could be a really great opportunity to get some sort of idea of how many folks are biking to work, and a part of the bigger, you know, cultural shift at SPS of not only supporting like students within the walk boundaries of walking and biking to school, but the staff members that support. Yeah. Oh, and then also wanted to share that I've had some success working with housing providers, which is really exciting. They've been the one that I'm working with at Broadview Thompson, which is one of my priority schools. She connected me with the attendance team and really shifting and using attendance as a motivation for Safe Routes to School efforts. And there's a lot of housing providers along the Linden Ave route. So we're hopefully going to get a walk group going for Broadview Thompson. And I'm attending their resource fair next week. Yeah, a couple of other resource fairs that I've been looped into. So this will be a great way to share about the program and the resources that we offer. Trying to get that to all schools that way. And then, yeah, one other group with MLK Elementary, a housing provider who has students, who is like really connected with the families and the students, and has a after school homework help club, who's really excited about starting a walk group. So it's been fun to connect with housing providers and just get connected to schools in all these different ways. So it'll be a really fun bike and walk month. Oh, and then question for committee members. I have some like social media drafts that I've updated. Sarah created them last year. Email drafts or social media posts. Would that be helpful to share with you all as you share with your networks? Or how can I support the things that you're doing to get the word out about Bike Month and Walk Month?
Yes, I think sharing it with us is going to be great. And then whoever wants to push it out can push it out to our different channels.
Great. Okay, I can follow up with that. That's it. Is Yvonne on the call?
Yvonne came just in the beginning and said she does not have any updates. I got an update from Marnie about summer schools. Marnie, do you want to share the list? I want to say it's really, really exciting that we have it so early in the process again. But then I thought about how many really, really exciting updates we have. And I was like, wow, as a group, we get really excited about very not exciting things.
No, they are exciting. They are.
But I find it very exciting, and kudos to the SPS team that was able to provide that information, not only to SDOT, but to parents so early in the game. I know it's not an easy task on top of everything else. Oh, Marnie, do you want to share the list of schools? I know Diane said, oh, here she is.
I don't see Marty on the call anymore.
Okay. Oh, she was. Well, I could share the list of schools, and I could also email it to Sarah and Diane. So they're going to have summer schools in James Baldwin, Broadview Thompson, West Woodland, Olympic Hills, Orca K8, Graham Hill, MLK, Kimball, South Shore, and Gatewood. So those are all schools that would need to have flashing beacons during summer months. Or during July, because there's no school in August.
I have one follow-up for Mary Ellen and the Walk Boundary Subcommittee. So at our last meeting, we discussed some crossing guard positions that we could potentially eliminate or shift to a different high traffic intersection nearby. And so I did communicate those to Yvonne, and we're going to work on connecting about which of those positions we could shift up.
Thank you.
I have a quick question about the summer school flashing beacons. We were notified about two, as a parent, we are, school community member. We were notified about 2 summer music programs that didn't sound like they were in that list of schools, but they're like 2 weeks long. And presumably there's going to be kids walking to and from, I think it's.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Aki Kurose, and I can look at the other one. But anyway, I feel like
I want to say Jam.
that would probably be to have that. I mean, like if it was a one-day thing, it wouldn't matter, obviously, but it's 2 continuous weeks. So it seems like it might be worth adding those to the roster. Do you want me to communicate that directly?
My kid also got an invitation to those summer camps.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I'll add those to the list.
Thank you.
But yes, you're correct. We were only looking at the summer staircase forum. Okay, anything else that is SPS related? Okay. June retreat. We tried it last year for the first time. We have it on the calendar for this June. If I remember correctly, Margaret, you said you could spearhead it. Yeah, kind of want to open it for people's thoughts and feedback. What?
Everyone has to pay attention to the directions this time if I host.
Yes.
The directions.
Kind of like, just want to hear everybody's thoughts about like pros, cons. Should we do it? Okay, lots of thoughts. Mary.
I mean, that's one that we, in June we would have a primarily in-person meeting anyway. So seems like it'd be fun to meet in a less formal setting, and you know, we could do a little more strategizing and less regular item discussion. And yeah, I'd be pro.
We also had a nice sort of celebratory goodbye for the long-term Seattle Public Schools risk management person who had been the institutional memory for many years, and so it'd be kind of, we could sort of similarly do a celebration of Marilyn's time on the committee. That'd be another reason for an in-person celebratory focus.
Okay, so who wants
I endorse
to?
Mary Ellen's comments. Mark's comments.
Okay, so who wants to take the lead on planning?
I mean, the other option would be to, I mean, and we could combine these, would be to have a, you know, gathering at a location where there are issues that we feel like have eluded us for a while. You know, I don't know if the South Park community issues would be, you know, we went there last year, we could revisit, we could go somewhere else, and we could combine that with then, you know, tacos and margaritas or whatever. But so, you know, I'm happy to be on the committee. I don't want to be the only one or the decider.
I'll help out. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else wants to help Margaret and Mary Ellen plan this retreat?
Anyone else have views on whether we should go somewhere with school traffic safety problems?
Last year,
Okay.
the working people had a hard time getting away to come. Is there going to be a problem with like Diane and Brooke and some of the people that have to work?
We were there last year. I think it's sort of part of work time, right?
Well, they're in official capacity.
I mean, that's kind of a vote for having it at a problem location or a celebratory location, you know, somewhere where we had a bunch of problems and we're doing an equivalent of a ribbon cutting. The speed humps at Adams Elementary and the bar nearby or something. I don't know.
There is a bar nearby. Okay, we can take that discussion offline.
Okay.
Thank you both for taking the lead on it. Speaking of taking the lead, the annual report is coming up.
Oh God. Kelsey,
that
you want to
you?
take the annual report this year?
I don't even know what that is or what that means or what it has looked like before. So I don't know that I'd be a good person for that.
It'd be perfect, a learning experience. What it is the police department told me one time that we reported to the city council, and so if we wanted things to be different, we should tell them what we wanted. And that was very informative to me. And so as a way of sort of pulling together, you know, what we have been documenting and what we think needs to happen next, we do an annual report and then we present it to city council. And then that's become something that we can also then present to the school board. And then in this most recent annum, recent year, we also were sort of taking it to the state legislature a bit because they have influence over certain factors, in large part because the school district is a state education function. So it's a, you know, combination of creativity and documentation, and it can be kind of what you make of it. But it has been a very useful resource for both us and others to use as a reference for sort of what the issues of the day are for school traffic safety.
Yes, and Marilyn, thank you for posting the link. And yeah, so it's kind of like a year in review of the issues that we tackle. So it's a little bit of pat on the back, a little bit of highlighting the issues and call for action, and giving kind of like the size and not great visibility of the committee. It's a great opportunity for us to be more visible and explain to council what is that we do.
Yeah, it has been very helpful. Am I on mic? You know, last year when we were presenting it, outgoing council member Peterson's office was going through the list, and they looked up the report on their own, and then we're like going through the bullet points. His staffer was with me one at a time to find out where things stood, and so I was, you know, happy to see it used that way. And I know that we got when the governor's office was promoting the legislation to change the rules about speed zone camera review law, you know, that they reached out to me and, you know, as a member of this committee, and like specifically said, we know, you know, the annual report is in the annual report. So that's been great. So I think we mostly just need to look at our last 2 years and make sure we're, you know, highlighting all the wonderful progress we've made on those points. And then if there are new points that aren't in there, that's, I think, where we need to brainstorm. And frankly, I'm not sure there are. I'd like to revisit I think we should revisit the school streets, because we didn't address that in last year's annual report, because they were kind of, the permanent ones were in process, but that's a big win that I'm hoping maybe Brooke and Sarah will collaborate on writing up, you know, some of those permanent ones that are going in and show that off. I don't know. Does anybody else have ideas of stuff that's not in previous reports at all? You know, a new subject.
I wanted to suggest today that was quite a success with the James Baldwin School intersection, and discussing, you know, those kind of things where schools have different needs than the city as a whole, and that this has been really a win that SDOT listened to us and changed and was able to get that through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and that's a great point too, because, you know, it follows up. For several years, we were one of the groups advocating for the change to stop signs, and so now we got the policy changed, but there was still that gap. And yeah, that's a great suggestion, Marilyn. So Diane, you missed it, but I think Marilyn just volunteered you to write up a section for the annual report about the success with the stop sign at James Baldwin, and kind of, you know, how I felt that and what that might mean for similar projects going forward.
Okay, that sounds good.
And so, Margaret, I got the sense that you do not want to be the lead writer this year. Does anybody else want to be the lead writer? Okay, I'm happy to write.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Who wants to be on the committee?
I can be
I'll
on
be
the
on
happy to be on the committee, but I don't necessarily want to be the main person. I don't think I'll have as much knowledge background as y'all have. So happy to help. Be on the subcommittee, whatever.
Great. So Melanie, I don't know if you got it. It's Kelsey, Mary Ellen, Margaret, and myself. Okay. Moving on, the Aurora redevelopment letter. Margaret, do you want to run through it and get the approval?
Sure. This was based on the presentation at our previous meeting. There was a indication that we would want to support the visioning process for Aurora. Did it show up for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I see
Okay.
it.
You can see it.
And so I admit that I am no expert in the crossings of Aurora Avenue North, so I really was hoping for my subcommittee members to double check my work here.
I'll say I plan to. I've been sick with like food poisoning or a stomach flu or something this whole week. So I've been sick the entire time since you sent it. So I'm hoping to do it this weekend, but I've been severely under the weather. So sorry. Sorry for the delay on that.
Too. I'm just saying that I don't know that it's quite ready without some other eyes on it. So I'm giving people a chance to look at it, I think, so that.
I think I'll personally have more time this weekend to like do a more thorough look through and maybe send back with some track changes.
Okay.
Or comments or whatever.
Who was speaking that time? Is that
Kelsey,
Diana?
I think.
Who?
Kelsey.
Okay.
So I guess we can request provisional passing of this letter and then send it after Kelsey's edits.
Okay. I so move.
Mary Ellen seconds, I see that.
Any second?
Mary Ellen seconded.
Second.
Could you hear me?
Sort of.
Mhm.
Now I can't hear you. Are you talking? Oh no, Noah. Noah's out again.
Well, let's have a vote anyway.
All in
all in favor?
Why?
All opposed?
One abstention, Noah.
Forced abstention. Okay, cool. And then the last item on the agenda, I'm really not trying to usurp Noah, hoping she comes back, was, hey, are you back, Noah?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was.
Sweet. All right, we passed the letter. Now we're on the last item, which I think is also me, which is me wanting, I was told that the Freight Advisory Board has a Washington State Department of Transportation member, and I was all jealous. Diane did some research and discovered that that person was a member with a personal interest. It wasn't an officially slotted role. And so, the question is, shall we try to develop a more ongoing relationship and participation with the Washington State Department of Transportation? And one possibility, and I'm sorry if it was Noah or Diane who suggested this, whoever it was deserves the credit, and you can tell us all who you are. One idea was, because we have sort of ongoing but not constant intersections with Washington State Department of Transportation, maybe we would have like quarterly agenda items. So like, make sure that we let the Washington State Department of Transportation know in advance we're going to be talking about, say, the cluster of new schools around the I-90 Rainier on-ramps and, the homicidal design of those ramps. We would really like someone, to come while we have representatives of the French American School and all the other ones. So, a quarterly, a regular quarterly WashDOT agenda item is one option. There might be other options, but that was one that was raised. And then it occurred to me when someone mentioned that it would be great to have a student, we could see about having a community college student, because that might be a level where the person would have more flexibility in the school day to attend. and community college students often ride the bus and walk. So it seems like that might be a good pool of people to consider. So those
and
are.
I could also think of a few non-community colleges programs that might be interested in work like that.
Could you repeat that?
Oh, I said that the community college is a great idea, and I could also think of some four-year college programs that could be interested. Could be a good pool. Brooke, I think you're the one with the most relationships with teen and student organizations. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, because we are focused on school safety, it would make a lot of sense to have Seattle Schools student members. And based on what we've heard, like at the youth transportation summit in December, I was also at a Earth Gen summit of different environmental leaders. There are a lot of high school students who are excited about transportation issues and really seeing all of the intersections that come together. All of the subjects that come together with transportation issues. And I know there's a club at Lincoln High that's about bike, walk, and transit. And I met with the student school board members with SPS recently, and they were all very concerned about transit related safety at bus stops. So there's a lot of students who are excited about transportation and especially transit related safety. Something I could do, because again, the timing would be really tricky. I wonder if either we would have to shift the time of our meetings, or if I were able to convene a youth advisory group to work on some issues that would be brought to our group. Could be a way to work on their schedule. And I could do some visioning of that this summer. Yeah. I think it'd be great to have Seattle-based students.
And Robbie brought up a great point that maybe we could switch it to Wednesday afternoon to line up with early release.
That's a really good point.
We have experienced that we've moved the meeting date within the last several years, and we ended up moving it multiple times before we hit on something because we accidentally conflicted with standing meetings that SPS Capital Projects had, with things that SPS Transportation had regular issues. So I think that's a great idea, but we should just fully vet it because we ended up moving it and then moving it again before we got one that worked for people.
Yeah,
Also,
I can vouch that it's at Metro too. It's Wednesdays are very busy meeting days, so it is easier on Friday for staff, but at least I could accommodate it, but that's only one person.
Sarah and I also talked about maybe having high school students come in quarterly as well, if they could get credit for it, and carve out the time, get some civics class credit or community volunteer time, whatever it is.
Community volunteer hours,
Yeah, that could work. Service hours, exactly. Seems like a good option.
Yeah, because I was thinking about hosting a student intern through the Seattle Youth Employment Program, or trying to have some sort of internship opportunity. But I know that different transit agencies pay their interns, and I don't know exactly if I would be able to pay through SPS. So I want to make sure that students are either compensated or getting credit for service hours for their input.
Yep.
I really like the idea of having a student to prepare ideas. I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah. And any thoughts about the WashDOT collaboration?
I think it's a great idea if there is interest.
I think that's a great idea.
I don't have any contacts, unfortunately, personally, so I'm not a good person.
I was on I interned on their active transportation team last summer. So I have some contacts with that team, and I think that they're hiring a new like safe routes person
perfect.
right now. I don't know if that would be like a conflict for them if they're providing some funding for us or how that would be navigated, but yeah, I think that they have a new person who's like overseeing the safe routes programs, as well as like the contracts for the statewide Let's Go PE class curriculum expansion across the state. So they might have some folks on that team who would be interested.
Yeah, that'd be great. You want to reach out to them, and yeah, be wonderful.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there'd be much of a conflict of interest, given that this is an advisory group.
Yeah. Yeah, we will navigate that.
Yeah.
What is
Diane,
the
that's the
timeline?
same name that you provided. That's Charlotte. So I don't know if someone has already reached out to Charlotte.
Oh.
Yikes, Diane.
I know. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, Diane. I wish that you didn't have to be there.
So sorry, I'm really gross.
No,
When
you're
would this
good. You've
position-
had this a while. I'm sorry.
When would the position be open?
We haven't talked about the process, so it would be some time. I mean, anybody would be welcome to join as a member of the public for sure, as a
Okay.
starting point, and then in terms of officially adding in another member, I have to talk to Aline about that, but I'm guessing it's going to be lengthy because these things require council
Okay.
support. So months.
So
But I think there are plenty of people sitting on the committee not being voting members.
Exactly.
Or-
Yeah, and Margaret suggested that one solution, might be every third month for a WashDOT member, or, so on that basis, if we could just get an official contact and some regular, back and forth, that'd be a huge improvement. That'd be great.
Especially during this period when you're envisioning Aurora's change.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like we could have a, I want to not stop sharing. Sorry about that. I feel like it could be a representative from a number of different parts of WashDOT. The main thing is someone who has some energy and interest in the in the area. I think.
Wow. Well, there's quite there's something going on in the background. Okay, any other concluding thoughts about committee membership or meeting?
So I guess what are the action steps that, if I understand, maybe Diane is gonna. No, Diane's not. Diane's gonna take a nap, I hope. Brooke is gonna reach out to both student groups and WashDOT. Are we putting everything on Brooke? Is that where we're leaving it, or?
Well, and I'll look into the official process too, just to
Yeah,
see
okay.
what's.
Yes.
Yeah, I will be doing something.
Yeah.
But
That
thank you,
sounds-
Brooke.
Yeah, yep, that sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
What did Diane say? I couldn't hear her.
I'm going to speak to Aline and look into what the official process in terms of adding an official member would take or require. But we can certainly invite somebody as a member of the public to sit in on our meetings for an indefinite amount of time.
And you're gonna start a search for my position, right?
Yes, we'll be doing open recruitment for your position.
Thank you.
And do we need a little subcommittee so Brooke can ask questions or for support or something over the next month if she wants it?
That would be great, just to, yeah, get an idea of what I'm saying and what the offer is and how, yeah.
Okay, who wants to be in the sub?
I can be on
Okay.
subcommittee, me and Diane.
Awesome. Any other thoughts? Questions? Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the weather.
Man, I'm gonna miss
And we'll
Marilyn because now we're gonna put much more things on the calendar, and Marilyn's our calendar person, and if we're gonna like.
I think Noah's pretty much taken over the calendar, so. Anyway, so that's no, but
Definitely
somebody's
not taking over the
gonna take the notes. When we get a replacement, somebody will have to take over
Yeah.
taking notes.
We're gonna have to ask everybody, what's your typing speed?
Well, my typing speed is terrible, but since I'm retired, I have time to type slowly.
Okay, bye, everybody.
The speed doesn't count, it's the time available.
Yeah, that's true. Bye, y'all. See you next month.
Okay.